Hello, welcome back to Sew with Mo. My name's Mariah and today I'm going to show you a simple thrift flip. I found a dress that wasn't really my style and I turned it into a skirt that I know I'll get a lot of use out of. I hope that this inspires you to be creative in your own closet. I chose this dress because I really like the print and the weight of the fabric feels like a great quality. I also like that it was a wrap style and I could easily see how I would alter it. The conveniently placed button, long ties, and elastic in the back are all things I want to utilize when altering. I plan to take it in a little bit, take the top part off, and make it a little shorter. I cut right above the seam to remove the top, and ta-da! I already have a skirt. That was so easy. To take it in, I had to be strategic on where to measure and cut because I wanted to tighten where the buttonhole would land without having to make a new buttonhole. I could make a new buttonhole, but no thank you if I can avoid it. First, I pinched in the fabric until I had the fit I wanted and I measured how much fabric I would be taking away. I laid the skirt down and noticed there was a hole in the fabric right at the butt, so I decided I would alter the length at the same time as the waist. Instead of taking the fabric off the bottom of the skirt, I decided I would take some fabric off the waist and cut that strip of fabric off where the hole is. This way, I took the waist apart from the skirt at the same time. This can feel a little like taking apart an unknown piece of machinery because it is very important to see how the fabric is coming apart to remember how to put it back the same way again. I took away fabric at each of the side seams that equaled the amount I wanted to remove. Now comes the tricky part, putting it back together. This is a more correct way of doing this, but there's also a fast way. The fast way is to sew the fabric front sides together, leaving a whole bunch of frayed, bulky fabric on the inside, and no one will see it but you, so you're more than welcome to finish your pieces that way. I know I've done it that way my fair share of times, but I will show you the correct way, just to have that satisfying, beautiful finish. First, I started by putting the waistband right sides together and sewing. Then I folded it back into position, so you can already see this taking shape and looking really clean and nice. This is when I sewed a simple stitch over the old seam to grab onto the fabric. This closed it all back up again. I chose to hand stitch this because I was struggling to avoid the elastic underneath with my machine. I separated my waist at 2 points, so I had to reattach at those 2 points, and then I reattached my tie. I did that by simply folding under the loose end and sewing a straight stitch across. I laid my waistband on top of my skirt, found the middle of both, lined them up using that center line, and pinned them from that point out. I stretched the elastic as I was pinning, and I pulled the elastic as I was sewing, so it would still cinch at my waist. Here is the traditional part of the video where I show off one of my mistakes. Yes, you are seeing that right. I sewed right through my pin head. I don't recommend doing this, and I'm very surprised that my sewing machine needle went right through that. I always try on my items before I am done, just to make sure all is going as I planned. All that was left was to cut off the excess skirt fabric and do some hemming. I recommend ironing before sewing hems whenever possible. It always feels like a task I don't want to do when I'm almost done with a project, but it makes sewing seem so much easier and the finish always turns out better. I did a double rolled edge iron, then hem on the inside wrap seam, then I did a blind hem stitch on the outside wrap seam. The blind hem was not necessary over a regular rolled hem, but it was something I wanted to try out and it was a good time to try it. If you would like a tutorial on how to do different hems, drop it in the comments below and I will add it to my list of later videos. Trying on the skirt, I realized it was a little scandalous when I sat down, so I hand stitched this little snap on to keep it closed when sitting. It was the perfect fix so that I was able to get in and out of it just like a normal wrap skirt. I also made this very simple top to go with the skirt by using a shirt I already had as a pattern. And if you follow me on Instagram and check out my story highlights, you'll see a quick little tutorial of how I got that done. And here is the final look.